And so just to give you a first overall view, at this moment I'm holding 500 share of Rocket Lab. I mainly bought those shares from last year's sale off. Remember last year there was a, I think in November, somewhere in November, there was a, I think in November there was a sale off. I accumulate those shares from that sale off. Different price points. That's why you can see my average cost is not really like the low like 39, 40. No, the average cost is 57 because I accumulate those shares at different price points. Overall, at this moment, the return is pretty good. But let's see what happens in this year, 2026. But the purpose of this video, mainly I want to show you my last 2 weeks, the puts that I sold. Let's just focus on the put that I sold. Expire on Friday, namely January 16. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 puts that I sold. Let me just go to the spreadsheet, and then I'm going to explain briefly. So this one, we just come to the spreadsheet. So as mentioned, I sold 6 puts, and the credit in total I received was 2,000, roughly 2 grains. And the ratio basically I calculate is based on the credit divided the strike price to multiple 100. So that's the return on average. That's the return ratio, yes, compared to the cash that you need to put there to sell the put. Yes, you need to have that cash to sell the put. Okay, there's a few things I want to say. One is that, okay, it sounds great. Yes, I mean the 2 to 5% on a weekly base is pretty good. Of course, it's not really just one way because actually I sold January 9, which is a Friday. Yes. So I sold on Friday, January 9, and then I sold it, the put expire next Friday. Of course, I also sold a few put on Monday and even on Thursday. Different price points. Okay, you might say, well, that's really great. What's the catch? What's the potential downside, or what's the risk? Let me just explain what's the risk here. The reason why Rocket Lab has such a high premium percentage is that Rocket Lab is a very volatile stock. Look at the Rocket Lab price. You look at in 1 year, yes. In last year October, it reached almost like $70 a share. It go down like 39. So 69, 30, 39, that's $30. Yes, $30 divided by 69, almost 40%, roughly 40% drop down. That means that if you got a side, for instance, go back to this spreadsheet, you got a side at 88 or 85 or $83, and you say that suddenly next week it dropped down 40%. That means that I'm going to losing because if I got a side, I need to hold those shares. Yes, I got a side, I need to buy those shares. Each contract is 100 shares, so I'm going to buy like 600 shares. Yes, 600 shares, and then if all then like go down like 40% suddenly, then I'm losing a lot of money. Yes, that's definitely more than 2,000. Because the 2,000 roughly is just like this is the average percentage. So the thing is that there's a risk associated with that. So it's not free money. Definitely, it's not free money. But the reason why I'm willing to take the risk is that overall I'm pretty positive about Rocket Lab. Yes, there's a of course I'm not saying that it will always go up, but I think overall yes, it's pricey. The stock actually is not cheap at this moment. Rocket Lab the stock is not really cheap, especially you should look at the sale versus the the market cap versus the sale ratio is pretty high. So it's not a cheap stock. But overall, I think the business is solid. So if really something happen, for instance, the stock really crashed by 40%, I'm willing to hold it long term and to wait for it recover. Because the problem with that is that if the stock price, like for instance, like from 88 and then it suddenly went down like 40%, like it go to 50 $52 a share, yes, for instance, then you should be willing to hold it to long term, because at that moment you cannot really sell the share, because if you sell the share you only pay $88 or $85, whatever, and then now the share is $50 a share. You sell that, basically losing money, even consider the credit you the premium you received. So you are basically losing money. So it's not really a good trade. So the only solution you can have is that you hold it a long term and you have conviction to hold it long term. Of course, it's not like you will guarantee it will recover. Yes, maybe it's never recover. You just stuck with this 52 bucks. You don't know, you never know. So there's a risk associated with that. Anyway, this is just the video I shared recently. I did. So to be clear, this is not financial advice. Okay, thank you for watching.